That's all I want to do. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're going ahead to start.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So normally we have the little. What's the little video? Nah, this is the last episode. So
Let's
anyway,
go.
ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the parts unknown. Um, this is the Clem and Call show. Normally we was every second and fourth Monday. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, this will be our last episode. As far as like an official podcast, this will be the last one. Any of the ones that we do from here on out, if you see us, it's probably be like a special edition. Let's say if there's some talent or some talent or wrestler or somebody out there that want us to interview them, we may just do that.
Hmm.
But as far as doing the consistent show, we're not. As you see, I do not have my shades on, which I'm normally supposed to have, but I'm having an eye procedure tomorrow or in the morning, or by the time you may watch this. Um, yeah, so I will be having an eye procedure. And so in that eye procedure, yeah, it's going to, it may put me down. I don't know how long. So, yeah, so pretty much halting everything that I've been doing. So I've known it's had to come for a while now, and
Hmm.
they finally got it scheduled. And me and Clem, we've talked about this. We've been doing this, what, 4.5 years now? A little, just
Four
a
and a half years.
4.5 years. And so,
Our
we
first show was November.
yeah, and so um, we like to thank everyone, that all the, oh my God, all the talent, all the Tilly and Reagan, and I mean, we just keep going naming. Lyric and her husband,
Yeah,
and
if we start naming names, we're going to lose a lot of
yeah,
people.
we'll just, we have
But to be
so many
yes,
Hans and so many people who's come through over the years. Sasha Steele and different ones. Yeah, man. So, um, and we like to thank all of you guys for taking chances on us
correct.
to come
Correct.
in and to help educate. One of the things is you know kind of like you got inside the NBA TNT ending. And different things like ending is like all seem to be ending at around the same time. But like I said, we made this decision back in January, like
Yep.
December, I think,
December.
because we was thinking about ending it in December, doing something
Yep.
for New Year's and being done right then. But
Yep.
um, we was able to keep it going a little bit longer. And like I said, now I'm at the point I gotta have the eye procedure, and yeah, so
Yeah. We like you said before, like you said, we want to thank all the talent, all the fans watching, all the people, who spend their time and everything else. But like you said, it was a matter of time, and we both came to this decision, and yeah, a few months back, and it's been a great run. But as everybody knows, all great runs have to come to an end, and I fully agree with a decision that we made. I think we've done what we're supposed to do. We've educated everybody as much as we can, and everything in all sports values, not just female wrestling and female catfighting, but all sports values. But as it is what it is, life is lifing, and things are much bigger than the show.
yeah.
So
I
it is
like
what
to
it
think
is.
we made our mark, Clem, maybe in just some small way.
That's
Um,
all we care. That's all I care about.
Whether it's with the Jitsi meets, because I mean that's probably our biggest thing, the Jits.
Yep, the Jitsi
But
meet.
I mean, going forward, but it's like how would you like to be remembered? It just because I've been thinking about a lot of this stuff, leading up to these last couple of episodes, and I saw something on the NBA. On somebody might have put in the comments on inside the NBA
Yep,
TNT. They said, "Don't cry because it's ending. Uh, Smile because it happened. Or
yep,
cry for tears of joy because it happened." The fact that if you would have told me years ago, like I wouldn't even know what a podcast was, but to be able to have somebody like minded we can sit and talk and discuss, because really the for a lot of people who may or may not know, depending on how long you've been rocking with us, like the original concept of the show really was going to be like, say, after like uh, back in the Facebook Live days
Yep.
and all the pre-Jitsi stuff. The whole thing was like, what if we did like a post-fight show, similar to how Ariel
Correct.
Hawani will host, you know. Now I'm not saying we were gonna have to show up in tux or whatever, or whatever, but that was kind of the concept. And and then talking to different ones after the show or after each match and getting folks ideas, and then from there, that's really what the show kind of took off. So, but yeah, man, it's like I like to thank you, man. I don't have any brothers. I don't have any biological at all.
Mm.
You've been like a brother to me. That's like I said, and we started this in the pandemic where nobody could go anywhere. We was all
Facts.
kind of stuck at home.
That is true. You're like a brother to me too, man. You're like a big brother, man. Because I have a younger brother, but you're a big brother. I don't have any big brothers types.
Um,
I have a bunch of cousins. I got a bunch of aunts, all that stuff. You're
yeah,
like the big brother that I gave the knowledge on things that I already knew some things, but you made me better. You made me to a point where I have knowledgeable to talk to producers and to talk to all these people and stand on business, like you said, your words. Because I wasn't standing on no business because I was flip flopping a lot.
yeah.
So
And I saw a lot of growth in you, Clem, because you know, starting out as being just from the view of the fan and stuff. But then I saw the change when you start clicking. Then you start thinking as a producer, you
that's
know,
correct.
and things of that nature. And so, and and I like to think, pretty much with anybody on the journey. Hopefully, you've grown with us
Please.
and got to see you and appreciate. Um, So we didn't want to end with like no whole you know, New Orleans dirge man.
Yeah,
You know,
we want to
I
be
like to be part
personable.
at
We want to
the end when they're
tell,
like
yeah.
when they come back. Yeah,
Yeah. We just
but
want to be ourselves, which we are now. So we're just
yeah,
ourselves
I
talking
meant
about
to
stuff.
save all this what we talked about in the first 7 minutes for the end, but I figured I let the folks know now.
Yeah,
So,
let's give the people what they want. Yeah.
so really, the only real thing we got to talk about is the fight that the Kitty Claus Pro
Yep.
Team wrestling production. Uh, the doubleheader, the twin deal fight.
Yep.
Um, I'll let you give your thoughts or whatever you want to share.
My thoughts hasn't changed much. I'll be serious because if you haven't bought the fight yet, I don't know what's wrong with y'all because even they've been promoting this fight for a while. I'm talking about they as in Reagan, all that stuff. So if people haven't noticed right now, I ain't gonna say too much. If you read her post, you know what it is, right? This is like her. I assume everybody's got it. So according to her, this is her last public cat fight. So I'm just saying that now for the record before anybody asks us where Reagan went. So according to her, this is her last public fight. My opinion, when I went back and watched the video, my opinion has not changed. I still see it as a draw because both girls, in my opinion, broke rules. If you watch the whole thing all the way through,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like, and I talked to several people. Takedowns and being aggressive don't win a fight. You have to find a way to make your opponent submit. This is a submission fight. This is not like an MMA fight or a boxing fight. So I know some of you people are thinking, "Oh, she got the most takedowns. She was aggressive." The goal of catfighting is to eventually, at some point, you have to dominate your opponent for the longest time, and you have to get her to submit. You can dominate all you want, but if you do not get her to quit, and by the way, Rojo did better than most people think because she actually did a few times in this fight. She was also the aggressor in this fight, so it wasn't a domination like people think. So yeah, in my opinion, I called it a draw. I still feel the same way. Nothing has changed for me. So I'll let you give your thoughts because I ain't got too much more to say on it.
Um, I am going to use. Let me see if I can. Let me see.
But I will say, before you go on, I will say that if you get this fight, watch the fight all the way through, not just the beginning. I know that she has all the clips, but make sure you watch the fight all the way through, all the way, because this fight is like 32 minutes, including interviews. So make sure you watch it, and then form your own opinions, people. Form
So
your own opinions. Go ahead.
yeah. So for me, my opinion is what I have on the screen, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
And some people may argue it was a low budget, whatever.
don't
Vantage.
matter.
There were so many different vantage points in this film from those of us who was trying to watch via Jitsi versus people who were there versus the official copy that we was given. Yeah, so there was so many, like for example, the there was a serious foul that was committed, and those of us
Correct.
on Jitsi really didn't get to see the foul because
Correct.
the camera woman went to try to help break up the fracas,
Correct.
and but yet we saw it from another person's point of view. Later we were like, "Ooh, that's pretty bad." Yeah. Um, so that being said, it's like, and I think there was some words and some texts and emails and DMs and all that was exchanged, and then
Yep.
even post fight when even with the vote, it's like those of us that was on Jitsi only had the point of view from what we could see. Yeah.
Correct.
So and now we're asked to make a judgment with what we've seen, but what the thing is that the people there didn't realize we didn't see everything.
Correct.
Couldn't see it from the same vantage point. You got the fact that the sun in the background and the lights violate the 10th commandment of video, which is you can't negotiate with the sun, which is
Yep.
why I wish most of the camera work was done with that back to the sun, so that way it would have
Correct.
illuminated not only the subject, but it would have also made it easier to see everything.
I agree.
Instead of everything, the shadows keep dropping. And actually, with all the different people that were shooting, this was just been me as a producer. As a producer, I would have been like, look, if all y'all gonna be sitting around here holding cameras, you on this corner, you on this
You on
corner,
that
you on
corner,
this corner, you on
and
this.
you exactly.
That way, you got 4 or 5 different angles. All y'all gonna send y'all stuff to me. You can sync it up and then cut it. Because I guarantee you, there was certain angles that would have just been better if you had it. But
I
anyway,
agree. He's exactly right. I agree. We didn't see. There was a lot of angles we did not see
I
in
would.
this thing.
Now, the first fight, I can't even say I
Neither
didn't
can
even
I.
see 2/3 of it. So it's like
Neither can we. I can't speak either. The first. Oh my god, the first fight was so hard to see because, like you said, the oh man, 2/3 of the fight was hard.
we couldn't
Some of it
see.
was in
We
the
couldn't see.
sunlight. Some was
We
in the
couldn't see. It was
darkness.
off camera.
It
It
was
was
off
off.
camera.
So we couldn't see it.
We can't say
So
much.
yeah, couldn't see it.
Mhm.
Uh, so that's why I say that's why we ain't really going to talk too much about that. Ain't
We
talk
can't
about
talk too much. If a
it.
lot of stuff is off camera, it's hard to say anything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Um,
leave that.
there was definitely SOS messages went out on the
Oh
thing,
yeah,
but there was nobody to watch it to see it. So
yeah. Unfortunately, both fights had the same problem. There was a lot of messages, but not a lot of answers.
I would
Unfortunately,
say, so my thing is going forward. And one of my initial thoughts of the fight was I thought this was a watershed moment for cat fighting. Ironically, in our last episode going out, things that we would like to see the industry do
Mhm.
going forward. If we look at it right now, the state of American cat fighting is just like the state of a lot of stuff in America. It's not good right now.
Mm-mm.
It's not good. I won't say we invented cat fighting. I will not go far as to say that.
Not saying that
I
either.
think in the construct of where it is, I mean, I'll make an argument. Really, APL, not APL, DWW. I'll make
DWW.
the argument they came before, well before, but or at least got it up for modern day,
I agree.
well before we get to everybody else.
Hmm.
The rest of us is just trying to figure this out. So again, vantage point. Where are you from? Are you from overseas or are you from here? You know. Um, but that being said, is I think it's a watershed moment because I think going forward, the business model has to change if it's going to keep up with the rest of the world. because the rest of the world seems to find, especially as we've seen in Africa, especially as we've seen in Europe,
Yep.
um, pretty much, even if you go back to Asian connection with a lot of
Yep.
stuff, it's almost like you have to have walls. You
You
have to
must
have
have walls.
walls. You have to have, because that's part of the tactic of a cat fight. It's part of being able to push your opponent up against a wall or using the wall to your advantage,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're against the wall, trying to get off the wall so not to be at a disadvantage.
Correct.
Because trying to keep people on a mat, and if you don't have plenty of space, like a sweet fights or like a girl fights next door girls next door brawl fights,
Or Mexican cat fight.
yeah, or Mexican cover. If you don't have enough space to where when the girls roll off, they still got space to roll back on. Yeah, it's just it kills the momentum of the fight, and then you get kind of like what we've gotten pretty much, and it's not just this fight; it's pretty much in a lot of fights
Yep.
that we've had now. The last now, one of the easiest ways to do that is to kill it is by putting everybody on their knees. You know, and
Correct.
then take the standing out. Now you can't really run. There's nowhere really to run, which
And it'll also stop the fainting of the. It'll also stop the standing.
yeah.
The static movement of not doing
Now,
anything.
this is where rules again. All this has to be done in the beginning, but
Correct.
I would say going forward, I would say especially on a high level fight like that,
Mm,
because you want to have some kind of resolution. That's what we're here to do. Because
true.
especially if neither person or one person doesn't want to go and do an overtime session of some sort,
Correct.
or even if you do an overtime session, at least you have to have a wedding from the knees only, or at least let the last round be where if it's 0-0, we on knees.
Yep.
I would even argue if the score is tied, regardless of what the score is,
We're on these period.
especially if it's 0-0. You got that's just would be to me because you want to have some kind of finality, some conclusion. You know,
Correct.
this is not English Premier League soccer where everybody's happy with the draw.
Correct.
We're Americans. That's not what we do.
Also, by the way, it would be for me. I'm going to go ahead and say that as sponsors, we should be the last resort. In other words, if you're there watching the fight, you guys should be able to make a decision based on what y'all feeling is. We shouldn't be the ones to make a decision at the end. It shouldn't go straight to us.
I
That's
mean,
just my opinion.
I'm not mad because you want the sponsors to have a part because we're watching it too.
True.
But the problem is we're not watching it in the same again, which is why I show Vantage Point. Because even the people who was there watching, they literally all were on one side of the room.
True.
At least our person was able to move around with the action as well as the main cameraman. So that's what I'm saying. So there was even so I can't discredit that. But what I will say is and let's be honest, usually ain't that many people at the lot. It was I mean, we had all the tension and stuff that was building up for this. You know, this definitely the most hype fight of the year.
No question.
I mean, without fail, without fail. But from a venue standpoint, I think the venue itself, I understand they had to use what they had to use, but I think the venue was not conductive for a fight with that much bad blood, with that much on the line,
I agree.
all the war words and all the stuff. You almost needed wherever the American Gladiators filmed their stuff at,
Yep.
like rent that studio for the day and just let them just run ham. Like this was not going to be two timid women. They'd be like,
Nope.
I don't know if I want to hurt you. No, these was two ladies. They was really to go tooth and nail.
Yep.
That being said, and Rojos, well, let's say I'll start with Reagan. With Reagan, Reagan did what Reagan does. You know, it was a fight. It was a fight. Now, I will say for Rojo, she did something I think for a debut. This was probably the most impressive debut I've seen since July.
Wow. That's high praise from you. We know you don't
But
give
I mean,
things like that.
she may have done other, stuff with Bay fight and all this other stuff, but no, the dude, the real McCoy. Oh yeah, I think she did very well because
Me too.
um you fought somebody of a skill level of Reagan, and you did not get submitted.
Correct.
At the end of the day, I don't remember the last time Reagan fought a rookie, maybe in that first cat fight, and didn't get a submission.
Mm-hmm.
I thought long and hard about it. I couldn't think of one.
I still can't think of one.
For what it's worth. Now, I don't know if there was there any talks of a rematch from anything of any sort?
I don't think they're gonna have a rematch. I think
I
after
don't
that
think
they talked
I
about it, they
just,
squashed it. I don't foresee a rematch
truth
at
be
all.
told, it was so. The fact that again, you know why I said modern miracles. It was a Herculean effort that this one even got pulled off.
Yeah, this so much vitriol. I cannot see a rematch. Like I said, they even said no to an extra
Now
round
to
that
say
we
they
were suggesting.
squashed
So
it
no.
and all that and supposed to go to separate ways, whatever. Okay, fine. But if in the event that even if it did come up, for the love of God, please have it in a different venue. I mean, heck,
Please.
even with if you just got to call, hey, Lady O, where was the spot
Who cares?
you
You
did?
know what? Call her anyways.
I mean, really think about it. The second Gia Love
Valor.
fight, even
Perfect.
there,
Perfect setup.
just put it there, and then just you might need more than one ref though, but
Of course. Of course.
them two might be bouncing all over the walls or whatever. But it is
True.
what it is. Um, but that's pretty much all I had to say on that. So
I ain't got too much to add. I agree with you. I agree with you
um,
on your first point. You're right. The catfight thing, yeah, walls definitely need to be have, and definitely more space needs to be used. I agree with you there. I agree with you with the space. You're right. They do need more room to roll around because, like I said, the location was so tight. Also, in my opinion, but that's just an opinion.
yeah. Matter of fact, like I don't remember a venue being that tight. Um, at least where it just you could tell since when Paris fought Candy for Tilly.
Yeah,
Like when they
yeah.
fought, I was like, when I saw that, I said, "Oh no, this is way too small."
I
Just the
said,
girls
yeah,
that they just fall forward, they're gonna hit something.
correct.
I was just afraid because both of them were like almost 5'10". It's like
Yeah,
hello, they're not short.
correct.
But them
You're
inches add
correct.
up. But parents to did as great a job as she could as a ref.
I agree.
He was light on the feet, had to keep moving.
She
So
definitely did.
parents,
She did pretty well
to,
considering these two girls were, like you said, aggressive,
now
off the mat,
we we've
going at
done
it.
we've done fights of the year, we've done producers of the year, fans of the year, sponsor of the year. We've done all that. We've never done a referee of the year. Parents deserves
Paris
a
is getting
referee
referee of the
of the
year.
year
She got
for
referee of the
that.
year already.
That was a lot to keep them two
Yeah.
girls and
And then not only that, she has to make sure
okay.
that they're following the
It
rules
was
because like you said, there was multiple breaking the rules, both directions.
that's a lot. Like Paris
That
is
was a
set the
lot.
standard what it is to be a rap. Like you better, yeah. So, um, now, but ever since that fight, I hadn't heard any promotions or nothing for anything.
Neither
Not
have I.
just for Kitty Cup, but for anything. I hadn't heard anything. Anybody for the rest of the year. So
I think Sweet Fights had one promotion. He's talking about June, August, and all that stuff. You read his thing. We'll see. He was talking about a June thing with some other one.
yeah.
He's the only person I've seen who's talking
Because I
about
think he was going to
anything.
try to get both Valentina and Santana.
Yeah,
So he want to try to get both. Okay, well, hey, kudos for him. You can get him pulled. I know with Trump and immigration with our president, just trying to get folks in and out.
woo.
Answer what's your order of business here? And
If he
business.
pulls off Carmella versus Valentina, that'll be impressive because that's
So
been talked about for about year and a half. People have been
I,
wanting to see
I
that.
know it's just again
Minor miracle. We'll see if it happens.
minor miracle. So we'll see. I think Sweet Fights and then like I said, I don't know what the industry or the business will be 3 to 5 years from now.
Mm.
Like I said, the African girls right now are just killing it.
They
You see it
dominating.
on the
They
clip
dominating. It's
sale,
just
you see it
impressive.
on. I mean, it's just started with Kenya and then just
Yeah,
spreading wild. But just like with anything else, I think at some point it's either going to cap out or regular something. I can't see it. I mean, it's growing like wildfire.
Yeah, it is.
It's growing. I don't. I don't know what the cap would be because at some point, yeah, I just don't know what the cap would be. It's just marketing and economics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where does it stop?
Correct.
Because you don't want to burn. It's too new of a market to see it burn out. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Now you can make a case with APL and like DWW and that, but even with DWW, it started to fade off, and then you had Boxing Combat toward the end of DWW, and now
Yep.
you got Fighting Divas,
Fighting
Dolls.
Fighting
Now,
Dolls.
is Fighting Divas even still running?
I haven't seen Fighting Divas run for a while.
Yeah, so even that, you see what I'm saying? So you still have IFW,
Yep.
down in Italy, and you got a couple of other spots. But
Correct.
it's just that with anything else, you got Slap City, of course.
Yep.
Cats Review UK. But it seems like everybody has their run.
Everyone has a run.
Everybody has their run from a producer standpoint. And when the going is good, the going is good. I'm telling you. Like, it's like everything is like boom. And then you get into that. It's a good problem to have where you have just as many girls that want to fight, but then you're trying to get all the sponsor money to have the fights.
Correct.
And it's just like, and it's almost like as soon as it's coming in, it's going right out.
Correct.
Right out. And then sometimes with time they want to go and do their own thing, and then next thing you know, then they'll try to open up shop way on the other side, right? Or whatever. Good market competition, but I think the sponsors, I think those of us that's in this fans of this industry, most of us are smart enough to understand. Now they may ask dumb questions on the network, but at least most of the vast majority of us are smart enough to know where to go. So, but I don't know what the business is 3-5 years from now.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, Africa was definitely an untapped market.
Correct.
That had like literally little to nothing.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see another run in Asia.
Correct. I feel the same
Even
way.
though Asian Connection was mainly based on Filipino ladies and the population there, I wouldn't be surprised in another 3 years or so, somebody make a run, maybe not as big a scale as Asian Connection was, but something similar. But I'm thinking it's not going to be the normal one. I won't think it'll be like Japan, China, or even Philippines.
Or Thailand, and all these other places.
It may be something like Vietnam, Thailand. I could see somewhere like that. Even something like Indonesia, just something where it just hasn't really been in anything. Laos, somewhere where it hadn't really been anything there. I can even make a case for South Korea.
I agree.
I can even make a case for Korea. Korea had more of the infrastructure for it.
I agree.
But I can see something where somebody make a run there. I know India looked like they was starting to have a few things here or there.
They're starting to have a few things over there.
Here or there.
But
I think they got a long way to go.
I agree.
They got a long way to go for what the market looks for. Not saying that they won't ever get there, but they got a long way to go. It's still kind of in the infantile stages. I think South America, could you do another run out of there? Maybe
they had a run and then died down.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Brazil is a big enough country for it.
Brazil is definitely a bigger country. I'll be remiss to say, since you've talked about the Catholic, I'll be remiss to talk about the Girls Next Door thing. They are also having a run themselves, like you said.
Okay.
They are also having a run. Not only,
I think Caddy Fights has some stuff. I think he still has his sale going on.
Yeah, he has a sale going on.
Even in the North America, with between Mexican Caddy Fights, Caddy Fights, Girl Next Door.
Yep.
I think there's some people that can take them out, and of course, sweet fights.
Yep.
The Cadillac Cadillac or cat fighting. That's why I call them
He is
Cadillac.
that.
And if he never gotten the nickname from us, he got that.
He
The
got one
Cadillac
today.
cat fighting. So, well, maybe for some generation, they're like Cadillac. That's old, But it
Exactly.
wasn't that long ago when the Escalades was the stuff. So,
Preach.
but the
That was
Cadillac
years ago,
cat
people.
fighting.
Years ago.
Yeah, I ain't saying the Chevrolet. No,
No.
that's a
No.
Cadillac.
Cadillacs.
You wanted that Cadillac, yeah.
Cadillac Escalade,
Cadillac and
people.
cat fighting. So, um, but yeah, I like to think moving forward, it'll be in good hands, and then never know who the next generation and the next generation.
Yeah, the
They do.
thing is the it's going to be interesting to see how it does because like the golden age of cat fighters that we have are eventually going to get to the point they're going to retire. Who's ready to take the baton? That's the
I think
question.
I think the biggest thing that's going to determine it more than anything else is gonna be how do the producers and the fight just the portals for them to get the stuff out.
Correct.
Like even when I go back, oh my God, Dark Ages were like Patreon and when it first started out, and then between the loyal fans, the only fans, the what Model Mayhem,
Model Mayhem.
oh my God, Dark Ages, yeah. So any of that stuff, I know. What was the other one? Sexy Jobs was definitely
Yep.
Shout out to Pet Life. I will give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Because that's really, in some cases, was the OG stuff.
Yep.
Like that, but that side, you get more private cat fights, more people who want to do it, but they don't want to be in the commercial part.
Correct. They don't want. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to be in the public commercial.
Yeah,
So
they just
they're happy with being private.
And that's a whole nother dimension of the
Subdivision.
business. Yeah. So it's like with the private fight. So, but yeah, I mean, just as long as there's still ladies being able to session and go up and down the East Coast and stuff like that here in America, like I said, it just like how easy or how difficult. Because I know with the credit card companies, the MasterCard and Visa, they start to do they crack down.
They're cracking down, man.
I mean, I just until female women combat sports until it's naturalized to where or normalized, not naturalized, normalized. Until it's normalized, I think that war would just continue.
Correct.
There are people that feel like women should not fight, women should not be involved in any kind of combat. And it's unladylike, it's uncool, and it just all get thrown together. Like even if you was to do, it's almost like even like when you look at like just people doing just regular like wrestling, like let's say they do like NAGA or something where there's legit stuff. If you notice, you don't hardly see any women stuff because why? That stuff gets flagged and taken out.
Correct.
Towards women. Whereas versus men do it, their matches, nobody cares.
No one cares.
Women, it's violence towards women. So
same thing with MMA.
I can see if it was intergender matches, and then you want to claim violence towards women. Okay, fine, I'll give you that. But when it's women to women, and it's combat, and it's a sanctioned league, then what are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about. So, that's pretty much all I got. We had 34 minutes on the dot. So
I ain't got much to say, man.
I ain't got much to say either.
I guess we're wrapping, so I got nothing to say.
We'll go ahead and wrap this up.
For the final time, people.
Yeah, for the final time. I guess I'll put, like I said, if they want to find you going forward, this will be.
Yeah, if you want to find me going forward, it will be Clem _ AKUFO on on IG and Clem Okufo on Twitter.
Oh, I guess this one's the wrong one because they had the 3,000.
So it is 3,000. It is 3,000. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Now for me, I still got called. I never changed it on here from Twitter to X to IG. like I have been teasing, and it's been a running joke of the show. Kill off the
Yeah,
IG.
it is, man.
Yeah, I think I can almost definitely. I won't say guaranteed, but I think it'd be 80% likely at least the IG would die probably before the year's out.
Mm,
Maybe if I have my depending on like I said the eye sucker, I might try to kill it by August, but I may just leave it up just to leave it up for 6 months after the show, this last one.
gotcha.
The X, I think I may just keep depending on what as long as Elon Musk don't blow it up.
You got that right. I forgot about him.
But
Yeah.
I can tell you now, I'm trying to go to Blue Sky or any of the True Social. It ain't that deep.
Oh, Blue Sky's not that deep. I've heard people.
Well, for me, I'm like, I just get off social media altogether. God bless you. Y'all can have it. Like, because we never did TikTok. I don't know if you have TikTok. I don't have TikTok.
Oh, I don't have TikTok. I've had a lot of people say. A lot of people suggest me to do TikTok. I am not doing TikTok. I have enough social medias. I got
And for
IG, I got
TikTok,
Facebook, and I got Twitter.
right.
That's
And
enough
then
for me.
TikTok is locked out. Like, if you ain't have it before that, when they had that deadline, you can't get it now.
I'm not interested in TikTok. No
They won't do
disrespect to
new
them.
account. So either way, it was like TikTok. It wasn't deep enough for me to do it. It just
Nah,
was me. If I just missed out, then so be it. I just missed it.
I'm
I
fine.
just missed out.
Like you said, if Twitter messes, if X isn't messing up, it don't matter. I'll probably, like you said, if it messes up, I just
But,
deactivate my account and all that
but
stuff.
again, we want to thank all our fans and stuff again. These
Exactly.
last couple of interviews that we've done, it has been the best numbers that we've
Correct.
had by far. The viewership, because some people would say, you know, man, y'all last 6 weeks, you're hitting record numbers. Why would you just stop? Well, we made this decision again back in
Long term.
January. We were going to do this.
Yep.
So just because the numbers are good, just because we got people say, hey, we want to come on and talk. At this point, we feel like if we say yes to this, yes to that, yes to this, yes to that, and keep dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, look, just put it out already. So, like I
Correct.
said, we made the decision. We're gonna go ahead and do it. Again, we may do a special episode every so often. Who knows? Just to let folks know we still,
Exactly.
we
Just to
still
let us
alive.
know we're still around.
Maybe like kind of like I look at it kind of like Barbara Walters,
Yep.
who was ironically in the news today.
Interesting.
Like her or like Larry King, because you had Larry King live,
Yep.
and then once he stopped doing the show, he would do Larry King Presents, which would
Correct.
be a specialized work, and it was all and with him and Barbara, I noticed it was nothing but interviews.
Yep.
That's what people wanted to see. They didn't want to see them just up on the screen just talking about stuff. Interviews, and we like to thank everyone who sent um, their kudos about the interviews and stuff we've done. Like I said, we enjoyed it. To me, that's my favorite part of doing any of this stuff
I
was
agree.
talking to the actual fight, getting into the mind of the fighters, getting into the mind of the producers, getting into the mind of the sponsors, getting into the mind of the fans, getting into the mind and understand what makes it work, what made you fall in love in this little corner niche in the world, called catfight, the fetish shit, and things
Mm-hmm.
like the zany world, and how you fall up into it, and
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so yep.
Yeah. I have nothing to add. Once again, we thank you guys for rocking with us for like 4.5 years, man.
Oh
Like you
yeah,
said, this is a passion of ours, man. That we came together. Like you said, it was a thing that I started on Facebook Live, which ended up being like all this great stuff, man. And we learned a lot, and we hope you all learned a lot watching this and improving your knowledge and everything else in between. So we thank everybody, all the people who came in
I
on the
put this
show, all the
episode.
people
I
that want to
put.
know. That's it.
Mm.
Yes.
As
So
they would say,
with that being said, for the final time, the Clem and Claw Show from the parts unknown. This is
yeah.
your boy Clement Okufo for your boy Claus Webb. We are out. We'll
Wow.
see you on the other side, people.
All right,
Later,
God,
probably. Bye.
bye.